The story starts with Kim Hye-in seeing a girl fall from the rooftop of Cheongdam International High School. This girl is Kim Hye-in, and Hye-in sees another girl standing on the rooftop but can't recognize her. So, Hye-in yells and cries out loud for help. The next day, Hye-in receives a call from the chairman of the school. The chairman is actually trying to save the culprit who pushed Hye-in from the rooftop and tries to prove it as a case of self-harm. So he offers Hye-in admission to his school as relief from her poor lifestyle. But in return, she has to keep her mouth shut in front of the police. Hye-in accepts this offer and can be seen joining her new school. Moving 3 months back, Hye-in is seen living her old and poor lifestyle. As she comes from a lower middle-class family, she has to travel by local bus and work part-time in a store after school. She regrets being born poor and wishes she had been born with a silver spoon in her mouth. The next day, Hye-in visits a rich family, and she is there to offer tuition to their only child. As Hye-in moves through the house, she is amazed by how big and good its interior looks. Later, the girl's mother asks her about her qualifications and also boasts about how rich they are. She keeps emphasizing how important it is for her daughter to get admitted to Cheongdam International High School. Since only affluent people can get admitted there, her daughter must get in. After that interview, she rushes back to the store where she works, and luckily, she reaches her destination in just time. Later, her old friend Sun Ju visits her at the store. Actually, Sun Ju is a university student, and she has lent her university card to Hye-in. Hye-in used this card to fake her identity as a university student earlier in her interview. She is doing all this to make ends meet. The next morning, Hye-in can be seen at her old school, and due to study stress, her nose bleeds. Later, she is called by her teacher, and he informs her that her application has been rejected. Actually, Hye-in had applied for a scholarship to New Zealand because she couldn't afford it. However, someone more needy applied for the scholarship and got it. At night, when Hye-in reaches home, she assesses her family's financial situation, and she is sure her father can't support her in this matter. Later, Hye-in is seen tutoring the rich girl, but the girl doesn't seem very interested in it. She is seen posing in the mirror and snapping pictures with her new bag. This girl is Na-yeon. She is a mid-schooler and wants to get admitted to Cheongdam International High School. Na-yeon shows her bags to Hye-in, and Hye-in is taken aback after learning their prices. Hye-in wonders why anyone would buy such expensive things and advises Na-yeon not to buy them. Hearing this, Na-yeon teases Hye-in by saying she can have one of the bags. Hye-in thought she could sell the bag and get enough money for her scholarship to New Zealand. But as soon as she tries to take it, Na-yeon takes it back and mocks her. Furthermore, she says that poor people like her can't afford it. This is why they advise not to buy such expensive things. The next day, as Hye-in reaches Na-yeon's home, her maid tells Hye-in that she will be late, so Hye-in can wait for her in her room. While waiting for Na-yeon in her room, Hye-in wanders around and sees her bag. Later, she poses with the bag in front of the mirror and posts it on social media. The next morning when she reached her school, she felt that her friends were not being normal with her. Later, they can be seen asking her why she has applied for the scholarship program to New Zealand. They are doing this because news has spread throughout the school that Hye-in is rich. Hye-in doesn't understand all this and goes to the restroom, where she comes to know her post with Na-yeon's bag has gone viral. Later, when she comes out of the restroom, everyone confronts her, asking whether this is fake or not. In reply, Hye-in lies, saying she is rich and that it's really her bag. During the next few days, Hye-in regularly reaches Na-yeon's house early. She pretends to be preparing notes for Na-yeon, but in reality, she is trying on her outfits so that she can post them online and gain more fame. A few days later, her classmates asked her why she didn't wear all this stuff to school. In reply, Hye-in lies again, saying she doesn't want to damage her things by wearing them here. Following this, she learns that Instagram pays well if a person has a certain number of followers. Hearing this, it occurred to her that she could cover her New Zealand expenses this way. So the next day, she again visits Na-yeon's room early and finds her school uniform hanging there. It's the Cheongdam school uniform, so she puts it on and posts a picture with it on social media. But suddenly, she hears that Na-yeon is home early, and she can't take off the uniform quickly. She just hides under her bed, but Na-yeon catches her phone and sees all the posts she made on Instagram. Seeing this, Hye-in gets out of bed and confronts Na-yeon. Later, Na-yeon threatens Hye-in, saying her mom will sue her if she finds out about this. Hearing this, Hye-in apologizes to Na-yeon and requests her not to tell her mom, because if she does, Hye-in's life will be ruined. Na-yeon replies that she won't tell her mom, but in return, Hye-in has to do whatever she says. Hye-in has no choice but to agree to this. As a result, Na-yeon makes Hye-in do her homework. She also makes Hye-in do her chores and uses Hye-in as her assistant. Moreover, she also makes Hye-in do her friend's homework, even though Hye-in's final exams are around the corner. On Hye-in's exam day, just a few hours before the exam, she receives a call from Na-yeon. Na-yeon forgot to take notes with her for her interview. She is crying that if she doesn't get those notes, she will surely fail her interview. So she forces Hye-in to deliver them, causing Hye-in to leave her exam. Hye-in rushes to Na-yeon's home, gets those notes, and dashes to her school. But when Hye-in reaches Na-yeon's school, she overhears Na-yeon mocking her. Na-yeon claims she is using Hye-in as her maid and that she was only teasing her all the time. She just throws those notes in the dustbin and leaves. Seeing this, Hye-in breaks down in tears in the washroom, having missed her final exam. Here she meets Hye-in for the first time and learns that Hye-in is also from a poor background and is being bullied at school. After all this, Hye-in musters up her courage to take revenge and fills a bucket full of water. She starts looking for the room where interviews are being conducted. In doing so, she bumps into Baek-jana and asks her about the interview room. Baek-jana's family is the top donor of Cheongdam International High School, and that's why she is considered the queen of the school. Jana asks Hye-in how she can question her, and if Hye-in doesn't know who she is. Jana then leaves, bumping her shoulder into Hye-in. Hye-in still needs to find the interview room, so she goes to the information desk to get some information. From there, she learns where the interviews are being conducted and goes straight into the room. She is so angry with Na-yeon that she pours all the water on Na-yeon in the middle of her interview. Moreover, Hye-in advises Na-yeon to work on her character before joining this school. Later on, Na-yeon's mother arrives at the school after learning about what happened earlier. She slaps Hye-in in the face and threatens her, saying that she is going to sue her. Moreover, she says she will get Hye-in expelled from her own school as well. The next day, Hye-in is called to the staff room by her teacher. He is angry with her for missing her final exam and for disguising herself as a rich girl. Moreover, he fears that Hye-in is going to be expelled from school. Hye-in is taken aback by all this. Later, Hye-in reaches her classroom and the news that she lied about being rich has spread quickly. Everyone is talking about it on their phones and teasing her. She becomes fed up, and as she is about to leave the classroom, her classmate confronts her. The classmate tells Hye-in that she should be sorry for what she did. Hye-in is so upset that she just yells that she knows she lied and is sorry. After this, she leaves the class. After school, Hye-in goes to meet the chairman of Cheongdam International High School. She explained that it was all her fault and asked him to grant admission to Na-yeon. Otherwise, Na-yeon's mother will sue her. The chairman's response is not positive, and Hye-in leaves the room. After leaving, she goes straight to the restroom and starts crying loudly. In the restroom, there is already a student present, secretly smoking. He is Lee So-mang, who also comes from a rich family. He hides his cigarettes and exits the restroom. Later, he is seen trying to sneak away without letting Hye-in know about him. However, she catches him and mistakes him for a pervert. She tries to beat him up, but he explains that he comes there to smoke. He further adds that this restroom is not used by students due to some rumors. So-mang recognizes Hye-in and remembers she is the same girl who was carrying a bucket earlier. Later, Hye-in leaves the school premises but wants to meet the chairman again. She decides to wait for him until he leaves the school. She heads toward the parking lot, and So-mang comes to help her. He assists her in crossing the bars and marks the chairman's car for her. While she waits for the chairman, no one shows up. It was past 2 a.m., so she decided to go home as she was already late. As she is about to leave, she suddenly hears a bang as someone falls to the ground. She turns around to see that it is Hye-in who has fallen from the rooftop. She starts crying and yelling for help. Back in the present, Hye-in is at the hospital, and the police are interrogating her. She is crying and recounting the whole incident. Meanwhile, the chairman of the school receives a call from one of his officials. The official is monitoring the police and Hye-in. He informs the chairman that everything is under control as he has taken care of all the CCTV footage. However, he tells the chairman that the only threat is Hye-in. In reply, the chairman responded that he would handle it himself. The next morning, Hye-in is traveling back to her house from the hospital. She is trying to hide the blood on her clothes. As she is about to reach her house, she finds Na-yeon's mother standing in front of her house. Na-yeon's mother thanks Hye-in for talking to the chairman about Na-yeon's admission. She also hands Hye-in a gift and asks her to deliver it to the chairman. Hye-in is surprised by all this and doesn't understand it. Later, Hye-in enters her home and has an argument with her father regarding the school issue. She then goes to her room and receives a text from the chairman asking her to call him back. When she calls, he offers her a scholarship to his school. In return, he wants her to stay quiet in front of the police, as he wants to frame it as a self-harm. Hye-in agrees to all his demands. Later on, we see Hye-in being visited by one of her friends in the hospital. He is Yoo-min Kwon, who was also on a scholarship at the school. He talks with her mother and inquires about Hye-in's condition. He also consoles her mother, saying Hye-in will get better soon. He then recalls how both of them were bullied by Jae-na and her companions. Jae-na had ordered her minions to find the person who complained about her to the chairman. Hye-in was being bullied by Jae-na's minions, but Min Kwon intervened and took all the blame on himself. As a result, Jae-na had him expelled from the school. Jae-na mocked them, saying it was their fault for being born into poor families. Meanwhile, Jae-na is seen with her friends, who are also children of the school's trustees. Later, Jae-na is seen sleeping in class during a lecture. Her teacher rebukes her, saying she can't sleep in class, even if she is the daughter of a trustee. In response, Jae-na mocks her teacher by reading the sentence on the board with better pronunciation. Later, Hye-in is seen saying farewell to Min Kwon as he leaves the school for good. In the present, Hye-in is seen entering her classroom and packing her bag. Her classmates try to bully her, but she ignores them and leaves the class. As Hye-in exits, another girl comes in and announces that Hye-in has been admitted to Cheongdam International High School. Hearing this, everyone is surprised and watches Hye-in as she leaves the school grounds. The next day, Hye-in receives her new school uniform. She tries it on and goes to the mall to buy some new shoes. Later, she purchases a pair of very expensive shoes. While window shopping, she is watched by a girl wearing a cap. The girl deliberately bumps into Hye-in and manages to leave a note in Hye-in's shopping bag. As the girl bumps into Hye-in, her drink spills on the shopping bag and she rushes to the restroom. When she checks her shoes, Hye-in finds the note left by the girl in the shopping bag. The note shocks her as it asks how it feels to trade admission for someone's life. She rushes out of the restroom to find the girl, but there is no one there. She then realizes she has left her shoes in the restroom and dashes back. When she reaches the restroom, her shoes are gone. While Hye-in is looking for her shoes, Jae-na exits the restroom wearing the same shoes as Hye-in's. Hye-in mistakes Jae-na for a thief and confronts her, but Jae-na mocks Hye-in, asking if she doesn't know who Jae-na is. Jae-na makes fun of Hye-in and throws a tissue in her face. This makes Hye-in lose her temper, and she beats Jae-na. She smashes Jae-na's head against the wall and takes the shoes off Jae-na's feet. Later, Hye-in is seen carrying the shoes in a plastic bag as she walks towards her home. Meanwhile, Jae-na arrives home barefoot and she is really pissed off. A scene is shown in which Jae-na buys those shoes earlier from the shop. Hye-in mistook her for a thief, but due to this incident, Jae-na is very angry with Hye-in. She decides to take revenge on Hye-in. It's Hye-in's first day at the international school, and she visits different areas of the school. She wonders how she will fit into this new environment. Later, she collects her college card from her teacher and is very excited. However, her excitement fades when she learns that So-meng is her guide for the school tour. He is doing this as a punishment from the school. As they walk along the corridor, So-meng insists on giving her the tour and guiding her around the school. So-meng grabs her hand but is interrupted by Do-yeon. Do-yeon is the son of the chairman of the school and also a friend of Jae-na. So-meng tries to resist and take Hye-in with him, but Hye-in chooses Do-yeon and leaves with him. Do-yeon takes her to the park and introduces himself. He also offers Hye-in his mobile number and asks her to call him if she is in trouble. Later, Hye-in stalks Do-yeon on social media and discovers he has been involved with another girl. While doing this, she bumps into some students and her mobile phone falls to the ground. She picks it up, cleans it, and heads towards her locker. As she moves towards her locker, many students watch and talk about her. Actually, Jae-na has spread the word to find Hye-in for her, and that's why everyone is curious about Hye-in. When she opens her locker, she is shocked to find the same shoes as hers with a note saying, "Welcome to hell." This is when she realizes that Jae-na hasn't stolen her shoes. Later, when Hyo-in enters her classmates start bullying her. They are surprised that she is just a common girl who dared to pick a fight with Jae-na. She manages to escape from the class, but all the students chase her down. While trying to run from them, she reaches the chairman's room and complains about why he isn't protecting her. The chairman responds that their deal only included getting her into the school. He opens his room door and directs her to leave. Somehow, Hye-in manages to sneak out of the school building, but finds Jae-na waiting for her. They exchange words, but Hye-in still doesn't recognize Jae-na. Jae-na mocks her, saying, "I am the queen of the school." Soon all the students can be seen running towards them. After this, Jenna grabs Hye-in by the collar, but Hye-in headbutts her and runs away. Jenna is seen with a nosebleed, and all the other students start running after Hye-in. Moving forward, as Hye-in is running from the bullies, Shi-yeon pulls her into an abandoned art room. Shi-yeon used to be rich and a friend of Jenna in the past. Later, she offers Hye-in a pair of old sneakers, as Hye-in has been running barefoot. From Shi-yeon, Hye-in learns that Jenna has circulated her photo to the school group. She also learns that Jenna runs the Diamond Club, which consists of children of trustees. This club allows bullying of other students, and that is why Hye-in has been bullied all along. Hearing this, Hye-in recalls that Do-yeon has given his number to her. She leaves the room and texts him for help, but as soon as she texts him, all the other bullies find her and circle around her. With no other choice, she jumps from the second floor. But as she jumps, Do-yeon appears on the scene and protects Hye-in's head from hitting the ground. Everyone is surprised to see this, and Jaina's friends inform her about the incident. In the evening, Do-yeon takes Hye-in to the terrace and dresses her wounds. This makes her recall her childhood when other girls used to fantasize about Cinderella. But she always fantasized about money, believing it could buy anything. She snaps back to reality and thinks that if she could marry Do-yeon, all her problems would vanish. But she soon realizes that Do-yeon loves Hye-in. He further tells her how he took Hye-in's information from her father's room. She remembers that the hairband she saw in Do-yeon's picture belonged to Hye-in. Hearing this, Hye-in tries to leave, but Do-yeon insists on knowing who pushed Hye-in from the rooftop. Hye-in offers to tell him if he pretends to be her boyfriend at school. Furthermore, she will only disclose this to him if he performs well in the given task. The next morning, Hye-in arrives at school in Do-yeon's car, and he holds her hand as they walk through the school. Everyone is stunned to see them together. Some girls mock Hye-in, questioning how she managed to lure Do-yeon into falling in love with her. The other members of the Diamond Group also ask Do-yeon about this. In response, Do-yeon confirms that Hye-in is now his girlfriend. Later in the classroom, the rich girls invite Hye-in to their sorority party as an apology for the earlier bullying. They make her believe that she is now one of them and can attend the party. That night, she tells Sunju about all this in the store. Sunju also insists she attends the party to make good connections. But Hye-in has no suitable dress for the party. They try to find a good dress online but don't find anything suitable. They then decide to ask Nayeon to lend her dress to Hye-in. Nayeon agrees but puts one condition. Hye-in must return the dress in the same condition as received. At the party night, Sunju drops Hye-in off at the party. As soon as she enters the hall, she feels out of place. Later, a waiter offers her a drink, and just as she is about to take a sip, she gets pushed. Her dress narrowly misses getting ruined by the drink. The girl who pushed her pretends it was an accident. She is Yul-hee, a member of the Diamond Group, and pretends to help Hye-in up. As soon as Hye-in tries to hold her hand to get up, Yul-hee pulls it back and mocks her. Soon, Jenna is seen entering the club, and it becomes clear that this is her plan to bully Hye-in. Jenna orders the guards to throw Hye-in out of the hall. Hye-in tries to resist, but soon realizes the guards are hired by Jenna too. Hye-in is taken out of the hall by the guards and is very upset. The next morning, Hye-in is seen holding her dress. It was ruined by a stain last night. She worries about how she will pay Nayeon back, as the dress is worth 8,000 yen. Later, Nayeon confronts Jenna at a hotel, and he is angry with her for bullying Hye-in. In response, Jenna mocks him, saying she knows he was in love with Hye-in earlier. Furthermore, she advises him that these poor people use others as stepping stones and leave them when they find someone wealthier. Jenna says this because her father left her mother, too. Later that night, So-mang gets the bullying video of Hye-in and is shocked by what he sees. His gaze then falls on Hye-in talking to a stranger, and he mistakes the man for a pedophile. He thinks the man is taking advantage of Hye-in's naivety, so he grabs him by the collar. Just as So-mang is about to punch the man, Hye-in stops him. She explained that she was just selling her expensive shoes to get some money. Feeling guilty, So-mang offers Hye-in a ride home as an apology. After reaching home, Hye-in tries to calculate how many part-time jobs she will need to repay Nayeon. It seems so overwhelming that she bangs her head on her study table and falls asleep. The next morning, Hye-in is called into her teacher's office. There, the teacher tells Hye-in about another scholarship program, which includes accommodation and other expenses. As soon as Hye-in leaves the teacher's office, a girl deliberately bumps into her. After that, Hye-in finds a sticky note glued to her back. Still being bullied by the rich students, she confronts Jenna. Hye-in asks Jenna to ignore her as if she doesn't exist and to stop the bullying. Jenna replies that Hye-in herself asked for this trouble. Later, Jenna adds that she can pay for Nayeon's dress if Hye-in leaves the school within 7 days. The next day, Hye-in is waiting at the bus station when Jana stops her car in front of her. Jana does this to give Hye-in a countdown. Only 6 more days are left. Seeing this, Hye-in becomes infuriated, but soon she's given a ride to school by Do-yeon. Later, he asks Hye-in what's wrong. She replies that she needs to borrow some money. Do-yeon mocks her, saying she's thinking about money when Hye-in's life is at stake. After this, Hye-in asks the driver to stop the car and get out. Do-yeon asks her to get back in, but she refuses. She then tells Do-yeon that on the night Hye-in fell, she couldn't see the culprit's face. Hye-in adds that if he loved Hye-in, he should have protected her from bullying. The next day at school, Shi-yeon invites Hye-in to eat with her, as Shi-yeon feels lonely eating alone. Hye-in tells Shi-yeon about her problem with Nayeon's dress. In response, Shi-yeon says she has an idea to earn such a large amount of money in a short time. Shi-yeon tells Hye-in about another Diamond Group member, Lee Dukmin. She further adds that Dukmin is a member of the Diamond Group, but he is considered poor due to his personality. As a result, he is bullied by other rich students who mistake him for a poor student. Shi-yeon advises Hye-in to ask Dukmin for money, and he will surely help her. Hye-in texts him, and he calls her to his room. With no other choice, she goes to meet him. After reaching Dukmin's room, he tells Hye-in that he will pay her 50,000 yen. In return for this, she has to take a photo shoot of him. As Hye-in agrees, he makes her wear different kinky clothes and asks her to strike various poses. Soon she becomes fed up with posing and tries to leave the studio, but Dukmin grabs her by the arm. He offers to pay her 30,000 yen more if she changes into her college uniform in front of him. Helpless, Hye-in agrees to the condition and strips for him. Later, Jana's dad's mistress is seen entering the school with a fellow teacher. The teacher asks the mistress how she made such a rich man fall in love with her, and they giggle about it. Jana overhears them gossiping, and when the mistress sees Jana, she approaches her. The mistress acts nice in front of Jana because of her fellow teacher. However, as soon as the teacher leaves, she starts yelling at Jana. She reveals to Jana that she is pregnant with a baby boy and is going to marry Jana's dad. Hearing this, Jana has a panic attack, but the mistress continues to yell at her. Out of nowhere, Hye-in appears and pretends to be Jana's senior. She helps Jana and takes her away from the scene. Afterward, Jana and Hye-in are seen sitting alone in a classroom. It seems like they are going to settle their dispute. However, they exchange harsh words, and Hye-in makes it clear that she is not going to leave the school. Furthermore, she throws the money she received from Dukmin at Jana. Hye-in adds she is the most dangerous person in the world because she has nothing to lose now. They should better come to a truce. Jana agrees to her proposal and promises not to bully her anymore. In the following days, Hye-in tries to focus on her studies and lay low at school. However, Do-yeon pretends to be dating Hye-in and asks her to meet him after class. Later, they meet on the grounds and Do-yeon asks Hye-in to help him with Hye-in's case. Do-yeon adds that his father is trying to close Hye-in's case, so she should help him find some evidence. Meanwhile, Hye-in is reluctant as she wants to stay low at school. When she tries to leave, Do-yeon threatens to tell his dad the truth. He says if his dad finds out that Hye-in doesn't know the real culprit, her scholarship is going to get canceled. After this, Hye-in is seen coming down the stairs, and she receives a text from an unknown number. She is shocked to see that it is her stripping video from Dukmin's room. Later, Hye-in is depressed about this text, and Shi-yeon takes her by surprise. Meanwhile, Jana and Yeol-hee notices that Shi-yeon is trying to get close to Hye-in. At night, when Hye-in reaches home, she takes out the note the girl in the cap left in her shoe bag. She realizes it is Shi-yeon's handwriting and matches it with the handwriting on Shi-yeon's notes. This makes her realize that Shi-yeon is behind everything from stealing her shoes to recording her stripping video. The scene starts with a flashback from a year ago. Shi-yeon's name has been removed from the Diamond Group as her family has gone bankrupt. Watching this, the other students mock her, enraging Shi-yeon so much that she attacks one of the students. She is soon interrupted by Jana, who slaps her and breaks up the fight. Jana scolds her, saying she is no longer one of them and that she shouldn't cross paths with her. Hearing this, Shi-yeon becomes emotional and reminds Jana that she is Jana's childhood friend. In return, Jana whispers in her ear that she has been waiting for this moment her whole life. Back in the present, Jana bumps into Shi-yeon in the school corridor. She interrogates Shi-yeon about why she is showing such an interest in Hye-in, and reminds Shi-yeon that she has never liked poor people. Shi-yeon doesn't respond positively, and Jana leaves, bumping her shoulder into Shi-yeon. Meanwhile, Do-seon observes Jana from a distance and thinks she is the one who pushed Hye-in from the rooftop. Later, Hye-in is frustrated in Shi-yeon's room as she tries to find evidence against Shi-yeon. Soon Shi-yun enters the room and catches Hye-in there. Hye-in confronts Shi-yun, accusing her of being behind everything and asking why she is doing this. Shi-yun mocks her and admits that she is behind it all. Moreover, Shi-yun threatens Hye-in, stating that Hye-in doesn't know who pushed Hye-in that night, so she must name Jae-na as the culprit. Meanwhile, Do-seon enters the Diamond Group room, where Jae-na is already present with the other two members. Jae-na has a flashback of her last argument with Hae-in before Hae-in fell from the rooftop. Hae-in had mocked Jae-na, saying she knew that Jae-na's father's mistress was pregnant with a baby. She also claimed she had seen Jae-na's father dropping his mistress off late at night. Back in Shi-yun's room, Shi-yun threatens Hye-in to name Jae-na as the culprit. If Hye-in doesn't do so, she will post Hye-in's stripping video online. She mocks Hye-in, saying she bought the video from Dukman. She also mentioned that Dukman had installed a secret camera in the Diamond Group room, recording a lot of explicit footage. That night, Shi-eun is seen crying on the roadside after the day's incidents. Jae-na finds her crying and stops her car. Jae-na asks why she is crying and tries to motivate her, saying she doesn't look good crying. Furthermore, Jae-na adds that beating people up and scratching their faces suits Hye-in. As Jae-na leaves, Hye-in receives a call from Shi-yun, but declines it. Instead, she calls Do-seon and tells him she is ready to help him find evidence against the culprit. The next morning, Hye-in and Do-seon act as if they are going to make out in the Diamond Group room. In this way, they shoo Woo-jin away. Woo-jin is a Diamond Group member and the fiancé of Yul-hee. Hye-in and Do-seon are actually acting to find evidence against Dukmin. They checked his drawers and found several USBs labeled with different students' names. Hye-in grabs them and takes them home. Further, Hye-in enlists So-mang's help, and he beats Dukmin up. He also forces Dukmin to delete all the videos on his laptop. Later that night, Hye-in plays one of the USBs labeled Hae-in and is shocked to find Woo-jin and Hae-in making out in the room. She then stares at the necklace Hae-in gave her before dying and wonders who is behind all this. The next day at school, Shi-yun takes Hye-in to an abandoned washroom. Shi-yun tells Hye-in that she has only one day left to name Jae-na as the culprit. Otherwise, Shi-yun will leak Hye-in's video online. Hye-in insists that Jae-na isn't the culprit. When Shi-yun sees the pen drive labeled with Hae-in's name, she accuses Jae-na of using it to blackmail Hae-in. A flashback shows Hye-in receiving her video with Woo-jin and crying in the washroom. Back in the present, Shi-yun tries to prove that Jae-na is blackmailing Hae-in, so she confronts her on the rooftop. That's why Hae-in threatened Jae-na to expose her father's affair. The tussle on the rooftop led to Jae-na pushing Shi-yun off. In reality, Shi-yun is just trying to brainwash Hye-in to take revenge on Jae-na. Shi-yun leaves, saying this to Hye-in, while So-mang overhears from his hiding place in the washroom. Hye-in catches So-mang, and they sit together to find a solution to the problem. Later that night, everyone is attending Woo-jin and Yul, his fourth engagement anniversary. Do-seon has taken Hye-in to the party as his girlfriend. Hye-in observes that Jae-na is not interested in the party and is sitting alone. Do-seon and Hae-in leave for a walk outside. Hae-in asks Do-seon if he believes Hae-in is truly a good person. Do-seon confirms he believes in her, and they rejoin the party. Later, Hae-in joins Jae-na and asks about the necklace Yul-hee is wearing. Jae-na tells her that this necklace is not even available to wealthy people due to its wait list. Hae-in becomes suspicious of Yul-hee and recalls that Hae-in gave her the same necklace before falling from the rooftop. Subsequently, Jae-na and Do-seon argue. Jae-na complains that Do-seon abandoned their friendship for a girl. She clarifies that she didn't bully Hae-in because Hae-in was poor, but because she was cheating on him with Woo-jin. Hearing this, Do-seon grabs Woo-jin by the collar, and Yul-hee breaks into tears. Later, Yul-hee and Jae-na are alone, and Jae-na feels guilty for revealing the truth. However, Yul-hee's emotions change, and she says she already knew about it. She adds that Woo-jin will now be under her control and will never leave her, as she is going to forgive him for cheating. After the party, Hae-in takes Jae-na to her home. She shows her the necklace Hae-in gave her the night she fell. She tells Jae-na that Yul-hee is the one who pushed Hae-in off the rooftop. A flashback shows the night Hae-in was pushed. Yul-hee is seen fighting with Hae-in on the rooftop and accidentally pushes her off. During her fall, Hae-in grabs Yul-hee's necklace and falls while holding it. The next day, Hae-in receives a text from Shi-yun asking her to meet at the school rooftop. Otherwise, Shi-yun will post Hae-in's video online. Hae-in rushes to the school, and as Shi-yun is about to upload the video, she is pushed off the rooftop by an unknown person. Shi-yun falls right in front of Hae-in, in the same spot where Hyen fell. Once again, Hyen witnesses a similar event and believes the school is cursed.